Hey everybody, today we have this webinar where we are going to work on the best practices for creating a Node.js project. We are going to use obviously Node.js as the basic platform on which we are going to build the project. We're going to use Express as the web framework to handle the HTTP server and the routing and all that part. We would be using a MySQL based database to save our data, and we would be using Sequelize to do the job of the data layer. We are Sequelize is an ORM, an object relational mapper, via which we will save things into our database. And let's see how long the webinar goes and how I'm able to cover things. Maybe towards the end, most probably if we have time, we are going to use Passport and see how to add authentication into my project. And for templating, for showing the pages to the front end, we are going to be using handlebars. It's a nice templating language to be used. Okay. And while we're doing that, I'm just gonna cover bit by bit in every places what are the better ways of setting up your projects so that your project remains pretty well organized. Okay. Um, we would be sharing the code of this project, of course, at the end of the webinar, so that you can check out how the project is organized. Let's see, we can probably set up some unit tests as well in our code and see all of that stuff. Okay, so let's get started with this. I hope you would have a bit of idea about Node.js and npm. For the people who don't, nodejs.org is where you can get a copy of Node.js to download. It's a platform that allows us to run JavaScript code on the backend. NPM, of course, is where we are going to get our libraries from. This is where people distribute libraries for Node.js projects. They distribute that on npmjs.com, and it's a Node.js website for Node.js stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to get into details of basics of running Node.js and JavaScript and everything. I'm just going to start off with creating the project and everything right away. Okay. Before we start, can we have anybody has any issues with the video or the audio? If anything, please let me know if I need to make any changes to the audio video, or if everything looks fine to you. So the first thing to keep in mind, point number one, is that I have been teaching people to program, make Android apps, web apps a lot over the time, and I've seen that people make a single folder in their ID, whatever they're using. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code right now. You can use any other ID. You will make multiple folders inside that. Each folder has a separate project. Try not to do like that. Every time you create a new project, every time you create npm init, a new package you're creating, that should be a separate folder, and it should be opened exclusively in your ID, only that folder, nothing else. Okay. So when you open a particular folder, so right now I'm open on this folder called best practices. Okay. So let me give you an idea. What I'm saying is, say for example, we have this folder called online, and there I have got the Node.js tutorials. Okay. What I want to mean is that we have this best practices folder here. So this is where I'm going to do today's project. So make sure that you don't open your editor at this level or at this level or at this level, anywhere here. You open your editor exactly at this folder level. Okay, the new empty folder. Let's start with. Okay, so that every time in your ID only one project folder is open. That's going to help you a lot. Okay. Let's get started with the stuff. Let me just open the terminal, and we are going to do npm init so that we can create our package.json file. And we will call it, say, node best sample. Okay, version, let's say we call it 0.1.0, a project that showcases best practices for organizing a Node.js project. Okay. Entry point would probably be server.js for me. Just there'll be some test command and leaving that empty. Git repository, I'm leaving that empty. We'll add all of that stuff later on. Okay, there we go. We have a package.json. What we are going to need, some of the packages that we definitely need, we are going to need is Express, of course. So I'm going to do npm install. I think second. If you're able to see this, I'm doing the npm install right here, right? So npm install express HBS to handle the handlebar files. Okay, and so in fact I would use a package called express HBS. This package helps us, create use the handlebars templating engine. So I'm going to use express HBS. We're going to use Sequelize to use the database. We're going to use MySQL too. That's how we're going to connect with our MySQL database. And I guess that's pretty much it. Express, Sequelize, and MySQL. And we will need Passport later on. I'm going to install that. So there we go. It takes some time to download all that stuff. Okay. While that works out, let's create a server.js file, and let me just write down the basics of our server right here. So I'll create an app out of Express, and then app.listen on port number, say 2929, and a callback function. Localhost 2929. Okay. Server started on. Yeah, there you go. Let's just start with the basics. App.get on slash does res s.send hello, right? Let's run this code and let's open the website. Oh, sorry, HTTP, not HTTPS. Start that again. And there we go. So basic project setup done here. Before we go forward, because we're looking at best practices to do right from the beginning of our project, what I'm going to do is install ESLint here. Okay. So what ESLint does is checks that our code quality, the syntax that we are writing, like if we miss a semicolon, if we use single commas or single quotes or double quotes, all of that stuff. So there is a support for ESLint already in Visual Studio Code. Check out ESLint is in extensions. So I'm going to install ESLint right here. Okay. So to use ESLint, I'm going to do npm install with the D flag here, cap D, which means it is going to be installed as a dev dependency, because ESLint is not required to run this project. It is only required while developing this project. ESLint and also ESLint config standard. So ESLint config standard is the standard configuration for using ESLint. Okay. We have ESLint running. So you can run this command ESLint init, which sets up your basic style. Okay. So use a popular style guide. I'm gonna go with use a popular style guide, and I'm gonna use the standard style guide in the JavaScript format. And there we go. So in our package.json, you would see that in dev dependencies, we have got ESLint, config, plugin, node, promise, and standard. All of that is installed. We have got a ESLint rc.js, which says extends standard. Okay, and you can create a lot of rules here if you want to. But basically, what ESLint provides us is that if I, you know, make some code errors like this, if I use single quotes somewhere and double quotes somewhere else, these kind of things, it's gonna point it out to me. Okay, and if I use var instead of const or let, because modern JavaScript you should use const or let, so it's gonna report all of that stuff. Okay, um, we will see underlines coming into our code whenever we are writing anything that does not follow the ESLint standard. Okay, and let's going forward, what we're going to do is we will create some folders to segregate our code. We will create a folder called views, and this views folder is where all our HBS files will go for the page. We will also create a folder called public here. The public folder is going to contain all the code that is going to be available as static. So our CSS, JavaScript that is required for the front end is going to go into the public folder here. What else we are going to do is we will create a folder called we can create one called SRC, and what we'll do is we'll put the server.js into the SRC folder. Okay, so all our JavaScript source code would always be inside our SRC folder. Okay, um, where do you go? Yeah, so we'll make sure that everything that's in the public folder becomes accessible over direct HTTP. We will create this rule app.use on the slash path. We are going to use express.static. We will just use the path library const path equal to require path, and see, this is where ESLint comes into help. You have this path is declared, but its value is never read. Okay, so now when we use path here, say path.join, see error goes away here. Okay, so path.join did name with dot dot slash okay. Now we do have a problem with the tab size. Let me just check that. Editor tab size. Shall just do it for JavaScript. Is that let me just copy this for a particular language, and let me just rewrite here. Oh, sorry. Dot JavaScript tab size is 2. So now if I just re-indent lines, yeah, there we go. So now my file is correctly indented. I won't get any errors here. Okay. In our app, we of course would be needing body parser because we are going to make post requests somewhere down the line in our app. So app.use express.json and app.use express.url encode with extended being true. So there we go. Basic setup of our project done here. Now we'll start with our data layer. What we're gonna do here is in this project, I will try to create a blog writing application, create some articles. So we'll have something called articles, something called comments. You can write articles and people can write comments on the articles. There's going to be users, of course. Users are the ones who are writing the articles, correct? They are going to be authors. So there you go. Let's see how it's going to look like. We will create a folder called models. The models is our layer that defines how the data structure is going to be like. Okay, and we create another folder called controllers. We create another folder called roots. Okay, we're gonna fill those up one by one. Okay, we're gonna fill those up one by one. In the models layer, let's create a file called db. Okay, create a new file called db.js, and we create another file called so the db.js file we're gonna require sequelize const sequelize equal to require sequelize, and what we also want to do is write const const data types equal to sequelize. Okay, so I want to extract the data types variable. Sequelize dot data types exists, so I'm just gonna make it sure that data types like this. Okay, so we start off with creating the database. Const db equal to new sequelize. When I create a new sequelize, I have to pass in the database name, the username, and the password. Right. So let me say sample block db, sample block user, and sample block pass. These are my database username and password, and I will follow that up with the sequelize configuration. So we will have dialect, and I'm gonna use dialect as MySQL. I'm gonna use host obviously as localhost. Right. So that's my DB getting formed this way. We need to create a database which has these credentials as well. So let me just quickly open my terminal, and let's go to open up MySQL command prompt. Right. MySQL. Let me just check first MySQL is running or not, or MySQL settings, and it's not really running. So let me just start the MySQL server. Okay, which means MySQL server is now running. Okay, then you're gonna MySQL u root. Okay, I'll just create a README file here in my project where I'll just note down the steps that I'm doing before I'm setting up this project. So later on I can remember, later on other people can remember that as well correctly, right? So MySQL view root, then I'm gonna do create database sample blog db. What else we need to do is create user sample blog user identified by sample blog pass. Next thing, then grant all privileges on uh, sample blog db dot start to sample blog user. That's the next line. Finally, there we go. Then flush privileges, make sure that the privileges tick. Flush privileges, and there we go, done. So we'll just check out if the database is running correctly or not, and we will start defining things here. Okay, what we're gonna do is let's do this thing here in our project is in server.js. Instead of doing app.listen here, we are going to export the app. Okay, exports equal to module.exports equal to, or we can do module.exports equal to there we go, app. So I'm going to export the app from here, and we're going to create a file called run.js, and this is going to be the file which I'm going to run. So I'm going to do const app equal to require /server, and I'm going to require a db file from here. So I'm going to export the db from the db file, okay, and I'm going to export the app from the server file. In the run.js file, I'm going to require both of those, model/db. Okay, so I'm going to create a function called async function run, and then I'm going to call this run function. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this async function run is await db dot sync, and then after this has been done, console.log database is synchronized. When this is done, then we are going to write app.listen 2929. I'll just paste that part of the code here. There we go. Okay, and run the server. So I'm going to do package.json and change this npm start script to node src/run.js. That's what my main script is also going to be, src/run.js. Okay, so run.js, let's run this file once and see what happens. When I run this file, database is ready, server is started. Okay, so database works, server works, awesome stuff. Now we're gonna write the definitions of our data objects now. Okay, so I think somebody's asking async. I'm creating this function as async here because that is going to help me write await here. So if I don't write await, if it's a normal promise, then I have to do db.sync.then, and I have to chain all the then calls. Writing in await makes the syntax look very linear in nature. Okay, so db.sync is a promise, but I can call await, so the execution stops till this promise is completely executed. I guess that solves your problem. So we are also doing a lot of console.log lines, which I believe we should do it in some other way. What we're going to do is we will use the debug module, which works somewhat like this. I'll show you how the debug module helps us. Okay. we will install this npm install debug. Okay, there's an npm package called debug, which is very helpful, which allows us to write our uh, log lines in a very segregated and categorized manner. So I'm going to do here is const log equal to require debug, and I am gonna call in this debug file run. Okay, I'm gonna do like app run, and instead of console.log I will simply do log. Okay, and in my server.js file, so there's nothing else here. We're gonna run this using this mechanism node src server.js. As you can see, node src server.js. So let me just run this. Sorry, node src run.js. Which database is ready is printed. The other part is not printed. Okay, I'm gonna do like right here db.js run.js a convert it into log. Now I'm gonna write this new command here. See what I'm writing. Debug equal to app node src run.js. So if I write debug equal to app colon star, it means all the app.run kind of lines are printed here. Another nice thing happens is instead of that, if I write debug equal to simply star, okay, if I just write this debug equal to star and then I start this, you will see I get the logs of Express, the Express application layer logs, the Express router layer logs, and the sequelize logs, all of these things. If I want only the Express logs, I can do like this. This only shows me the Express logs. Okay, so the debug module lets you, segregate your logs into different places. Okay, so you have got this. Let's start defining our stuff. We are going to have const user equal to db.define user with table which would have id would be your regular stuff, auto increment primary key. We're going to have user names for every user. Username would be of type let's do this dt dot so username would be data types dot string, and let's say we allow up to 30 character strings, unique true, and allow null false because we don't want people to have false usernames. Okay, there you go. That's username. For now, just the username. Okay, we would need passwords too, of course. Passwords don't have any limitation as such. Type data types dot string shouldn't be null, of course. Password. That's my definition of the user table, username, password. Okay, let's create the definition of the article table. Const article equal to db dot define article. So article table would have a title, which is going to be type. Let me just do this const dt equal to sequelize dot data types and convert all of these to dt dot string. So the title can be up to let's say 150 characters in length, not more than that. Title should not be null, of course, right? And we'll have more things here. Title content is going to be string. What else do we need? We'll have an article content. We have posts. So article needs to have an author, of course. So you'll have like this. You can have author ID, and you can write like this has going to be integer references users or something like that. But we can remove that part also. Let's see, const comment equal to dv dot define comment. Comment would have a title and message, somewhat like this. Right, and a comment can have some amount of review rating also. Let's just say a comment has a title and message, and that's it. Now, in sequelize, we have associations in sequelize, which is to create one-to-one, many-to-many associations and all of that stuff, right? So what we'll do is we will create these kind of associations. We are going to create an association of this type. Article dot belongs to user, okay, and we'll have, of course, when you're writing and you can create a foreign key, of course, like this, right? So you can define what's your foreign key going to build like when you are creating a relationship between two tables. Okay. So here we're going to write article dot belongs to user means that, and we'll also write this as out. So this would add and let me just call it user articles and comments. So articles dot belong to users as author. If I write like this, it's going to create a foreign key called author ID inside the article table, and the article and user would have a relationship, one-to-many relationship. One user can write many articles, but every article can have only one author. And the other way around, you will create user dot has many articles. Let's just reduce the models to singular only. I think the singular is a better way to go for this case. Right, so when you're writing belongs to, you can create the foreign key either like this, or you can use the as syntax as is being shown here. Okay. You can use the has one kind of notation when creating has one and has many relationships as well. There is a has one relationship. There is also a has many relationship. So project dot has many user as workers like that. This okay. So I'm going to do user dot has many article. Article belongs to user as author, and similarly comment belongs to a particular article. An article, of course, can have many comments. Okay, and similarly, a comment also belongs to a user, and the user dot has many comment. Okay, so a user can make multiple comments, but every comment is going to have only one author, right? So this way we have our models defined: the user art model, the article, and the comment model. Okay. Now what happens is if I just run my npm start command once again. So now a lot of SQL commands have run here, as you can see. There is a command create table if not exist articles, ID integer not null auto increment, title is varchar 150, and it has a content varchar 255, and this stuff like on created at updated at tables have been added to it. Similarly, create table if not exist comments. Okay, so all of these things have been created, and if we just go to our database and take a look at how it looks like. Let me just open MySQL in a GUI format, which is going to be easier for you to see what we are doing here, right? So let's take a look here. What do we have? We have this database sample block DB. It has got tables. I think you can see here tables. There is articles, comments, and users. Articles table has got foreign keys. Sorry, the articles table. So see, the articles table has ID, title, content, created at, updated at, author ID, and user ID. Like that, it has gotten created. Okay. So in fact, user dot belongs to article should also have this as author tag, so that we don't create a user ID column there. Okay. Now, once the relationships are done, make sure that if you ever want to, delete all the tables in your database and just recreate the tables in your database, that's also possible. When your run.js file, when you're doing db.sync, we can pass force equal to true. Okay. If that has been done, in which case what happens is you see drop table comments, drop table articles, drop table users. So all the tables get dropped and they are recreated again. And now we can go to our workbench and see that fresh data has been created via that. So we can all see all of those things getting created. Now Let's start creating our controller layer and the root layer, by which we will create an API and some pages that we will show to the user. Okay. So now we'll start creating a controller layer, and in the controller layer we will create three controllers. One is for users. Sorry, I'll just rename it to JavaScript. User.js. We'll create articles.js and commands.js. Okay. Now the controllers are going to have functions which are going to create and show data from our database. So what I'm going to do is from models layer, I'm going to export all these models here: user, comment, and articles. Okay. So all these have been exported. Let me just go to articles, and we wanna do is const article comma user equal to require dot dot slash model slash db. So we'll create a function. And we create those as async functions. Async function create article, and it should have a couple of things here in the title of the article, contents of the article, and author ID, the author for which we are creating this article. Okay, very simple. We are gonna do try, await. Okay, article dot create. Values are going to be, of course, title. What are the things that are defined in the article are title, content. We just pass this title, content, and author ID. Okay, and then catch the error. So if there is an error, we are obviously going to console.error e just to print this error. That's my articles.js file, which creates an article with title, content, and author ID. Okay. We'll do model.exports equal to create article. We need to run some validation before we do all of this, which is we'll check or we will just do console.log throw e if type of title not equal to string, or title dot length less than 1. Throw a new error which says empty or undefined. Okay, you can do that for the other ones also. If content empty or undefined. Okay, and finally with author ID, if type of id not equal to number. Author of article not defined. Okay. That's my create article function. Okay. And then we would have a similar, we can have a function called as in fetch articles. Export fetch articles as well. Okay. Fetch article does is articles equal to await articles, sorry, article dot find all. Return articles. If there is any error, just throw that. This is my fetch articles code right there. Okay. Um, I think I follow this code. I think what I can do is in the middle, let me just commit my code till here and push it to GitHub so that you guys can take a look at what I have written till now. Let me just do git init at this level, best practices, right? And let me create a git ignore file here. What files do I not want others to see? Slash node modules. This folder not for everybody else. Everything else is, I think people can check out the other folders. Yeah, src views. That's it. So let me just do git add a git model and so basic model controller layers. Let me just create a repository. So your code is actually on this repository. I'm just updating this. So coding blocks archives is the GitHub organization, and the name of the folder inside is webinar underscore node.js underscore best practices. Coding blocks archives webinar node.js best practices. Okay. Set up the database setup file out here. And we just create basic model controller layers. That's the first commit here. I should have committed a little more frequently project basic setup and then the later parts after that, but for now it's fine. Okay. So now let's do something is we will create some sample users articles and comments, put that up and see if our API layer is working or not. Okay, then we'll move forward with working on our controllers. So create articles controller, create article and fetch articles. Correct. Um, we will also now just work on this part is creating our roots. So let me create two files here. API .js and instead let me just create a new folder called API uh, and another folder called pages. And so see what I've done here is created API slash index.js as a root and pages slash index.js as another root. Okay, that's what we have here right now. These roots would be of course like this const root equal to require express dot router, create my root, model dot exports equal to root. Okay, our usual way of creating a root for API and for pages both, right? So let's see. In our server.js, we will add these roots here. Instead of this, we'll do app. So let's just app.use slash require dot slash root slash pages and app.use slash API would have require root slash API. Okay. Each of these APIs and pages, we're going to add the pages like this in the API root. New file articles.js. Articles.js gonna have same root here. If you just give me a second, I will do is connect my iPad here. Couple of things we just quickly draw on the screen, show you, be easy for explain. Okay, give me 2 minutes. Okay, just be back in a couple of seconds. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, we'll just quick little break. Oh, sorry. So I think the audio was not on till now. I'm sorry. My bad. I think we can hear you now. You can hear me now, right? What I'm doing is I created some paths inside the API. So the API is going to look somewhat of this format. Wait a second. Here we go. Yeah. So my API is somewhat like this. There's API. So there's a slash path, and inside that there is uh, slash API, and there are pages like slash articles slash users. These would all show HTML data. The API path would have further paths like slash API slash articles. That would of course show me some JSON data, array of JSON. It might have something like API slash articles slash 5, okay, which would show me a JSON object for that particular article. It might have API slash articles slash 5 slash comments, which would again provide me with an array like this, okay. Then we would have API slash users, which would provide me with an array of users and so on. That's kind of the path that I'm looking for. These all paths are going to be rendered with their handlebars using HTML, and it will create HTML pages. These are all JSON stuff, okay. Let me go back. Yeah. Now I'm creating a seed function. The seed function what it's going to do is insert some initial data into my project. Okay. First few data to begin with. So we'll do this is await models dot user dot bulk create. I'm gonna bulk create some users, okay, and we're gonna add username and password like this, okay, username password. So username, first user, and first pass, like that. So we're saving the passwords like strings here, which we should never do. We're gonna fix that later on in the project, okay. Then maybe another user of the same type. Let me see. Yeah, user, second user, second pass. Okay, there you go. We got users dot bulk create. Then we will have await models dot article dot bulk create. Now what article bulk create allows us to do is we're gonna create like this. Each article would have a title, content, and a author ID. Let's make 2-3 of these. So these two for article user ID 1, these for author ID 2, right? So we have some titles. Let's see. We can go to lipsum.com. Lipsum.com is a place where you can get some, sample text data to just write. This is my title. Let's say I take this as the title. First article. Second article. Let me just see. There you go. You have some more stuff. Okay, content. Let's take some content. Lorem ipsum. Okay, this paragraph 1, this paragraph 2, this paragraph 3, this paragraph 4. Just paste all that content here. Here we go. First content. Yeah, there can be say quotes in here. So let's see a safer way is using backticks. Backticks, there are no backticks used inside this content, so it will get automatically escaped. Okay. So first line, second, again same stuff. Then same stuff here. And finally for this one, the so we bulk create some articles, we bulk create some users, right? And let's now just see if our API is running and data we are able to fetch or not from it. So we will run this seed function here. Okay, let me just create a npm script called seed data. It's gonna run node scripts slash seed sample data.js. So when I run the seed data script, it's gonna it requires the models from the model strat db, so it's gonna fetch all the credentials properly, and it's gonna insert 2 sample users and 4 sample articles into my database, so that when I'm starting this project I have some initial data to test out my project with. Okay. It's good to have some seed data in your projects. Helps any new people who are trying to contribute to the project, build it, and try things out in a easy way. Okay. Let's see. Now that let's see, then the DB layer is there. We have the controller layer for fetching the articles, create article and fetch article. API and all, everything is in place. I hope. So if I go to if I run the file and then if I go to API and API slash so roots inside API. Oh, I haven't added one thing, which is inside API. I need to do this root dot use articles require dot slash articles users dot slash users. I think that's it. So not required anything else. Articles is going to do get and post and root.get ID and all of that stuff. So let's just try it out. Let me start the server and let's go to localhost 2929, right, slash API slash articles. There we go. Okay, nothing has returned. select from articles did not work. Oh, because of course it did not work. We need to run the seed data first. We're gonna run the seed data command. Data too long for column content. Okay, I think we have used in my seed data we have written some text which are longer than 255. So let's see what all data types do we have in Sequelize, right? These are data types we have. We have string, and by default string is varchar 255, right? And if you use text, then text would be able to save more than what a string saves. So let me just use text as a data type in my models. db, let's change this to the content to text, the article content. Comment also, let's change it to text, right? Let's set this force to true. What we can do is we can make two scripts, one which makes the DB run with force, one which does not. So let's say we do like this. Force is process.env dot force db force, right? Or we can write like this, force db reset, and then we can create two scripts in my start reset db. So force db reset equal to true space node src run.js. What this does is it this is a different start script which runs with force db reset equal to true set. And if I run this start script, it's not going to reset the database. It's not going to run force equal to true. If I run this, then it's going to take process.env.force db reset from the environment variable and set the value of force to true. Okay. So let's just run with start reset db again. Let's run seed data. Then we get an error called unhandled promise rejection. Just because we haven't done the catch part of the promise. Ideally, we should do that. What we should do is write like this in our db dot c sample c data.js. We should do like this. Try put everything inside the try part. Then catch e and then throw the error. Okay, so let's see data again. Let's see now articles. Okay, so let's see data again. So all of that stuff has been inserted into the database. Let's stop see data. Then let's run start. Okay, after you run start, let's check out articles. There we go. So we see stuff like ID, title, content, created at, author ID, all this stuff we can see. Okay, and we want to show the username also in the articles that we are fetching. We want to show the username of the articles whoever has written. We can do is change our code a little bit like this. In my code that does controllers articles, fetch article. So instead of fetch article, what we'll do is here we'll write include, and in include we will create an object where model is user. Okay, and we'll add attributes as username. Okay, so we will include users when we are searching, and it will contain the username attribute inside that. What's the difference doing this is very simple. So let me just stop this and let's start again, and let's check out the articles page again. I think we have got an error somewhere. I need the as thing. Let me see. So a little bit of problem in my code is, let me just commit my code till now. So, but the error in my code is that in my DB layer, and the include part has some error. So let me see how the include part works here. So include model user as author. Attributes. I think you have to include the user as author. That's what we need to do. Okay. Let's quickly run that stuff again. Start. Let's fetch articles again, and now you see we get the author and the username for the people. Instead, we get the author ID. We get also the author and the author's username inside every article. So it's going to be easy to show the author of that article in the API. Raw data looks like this, JSON, obviously. Okay, so I think this part works. Showing the articles part is working. Let's start focusing on creating our pages using HBS now, because the API part, as we can see, is working. So we will of course have to create some views. We have to create So we will definitely need Bootstrap and jQuery, and just as you would need Bootstrap and jQuery. So let me just quickly get Bootstrap and jQuery part already, create a frame for that. What we'll do is Express HBS has this awesome feature where we create it like this. We create var HBS equal to require HBS. Then uh, app.engine express.express4, and we do partials directory. We can add the default. We can do the default layout and some extension name and all of this layouts directory. You can get a directory inside which all the layouts are. And okay, this is going to help us do one very nice thing. I will just show you a sample project how this has been handled. So, account.codingblogs.com. This is the page where people are all logging in. So just take a look. This is the page where people are all logging in. You have to log out, and this is also a Node.js project that is running. The source code of this project is available on github.com/codingblogs/oneauth. And here, if you look at the source code, you will see that in my server.js file, what I have done is src server.js. You see HBS part which is set up. There is a partials directory, there is a layouts directory, and there is a default layout. Okay, so default layout there is main.hbs. In my views, there are partials for this footer, modal, navbar, side nav. Okay, so then there is a layouts directory which has main.hbs. Now main.hbs is just a file which contains the skeleton of the outer skeleton of my project, and it contains a place in it called body. Now wherever the body is, it is in that place one HBS file is inserted into another HBS file. Okay, and this is the common layout of every file that we are creating. Okay, let me just explain to you what I mean here. Is something somewhat like this. Just give me 2 minute break. I'm just looking at something. So what I'm trying to do here is basically with HBS files, what we can do is we can create one HBS file like this. There's a particular HBS file called, say, something like main.hbs, and we create a place inside this called body here. Okay, then we have another say page.hbs. Okay, now this has some fields which some data from some JSON file will get injected into this, and then this entire page is going to get injected into this place. So whatever was there in my head tag and everything in my, or say some footer or something, so all of those things are going to remain in my main.hbs file. So that's my main template. So this way I can basically create projects somewhat like this. I can create a main layout file, then I can create a lot of different kind of pages, and there's going to be different types of data that will get punched with this together. It will generate some HTML which will get delivered into the slot. Rest of the stuff that is here is going to remain all constant here. So this is something that a feature that Express HBS provides. So common stuff that we need in all the pages, like the nav bar of our page or stuff like that, we can all keep it in the main file and then inject the pages in this format. Okay, so to be able to achieve this thing, what we need is let's see Express HBS how to use. We're going to use HBS equal to require Express HBS, and then app.engine xbs.express 4, and your app.set view engine. Okay, so there we go. Let's do this thing in server.js. So const HBS equal to require express HBS, right? Then what we need to do is do app.engine HBS and express HBS.express4. Okay, so we'll set that stuff up. App.engine HBS is HBS.express4, and we'll need to provide these partials directory, path, and all of that stuff. Okay, so we'll again do part.join dead name comma dot slash views slash partials. Layouts directory would be same stuff like this. Layouts. Okay, and then finally we need like I've done in the one on file is this needs to be a default layout. That's the main layout that we're always using. So default layout is going to be part.join their name and dot slash view slash layout slash main.hbs. Okay, so now this is in place. Let's create these views. Inside views we will create two folders, one called partials, the other called new folder layouts. Layouts will have a new file called main.hbs. Okay, and this main.hbs file would have the basic HTML template here, body, going into the main.hbs right here. Okay, what else would be needed here? We'll just keep adding. Don't worry. So for HBS file, I think autocompletes are not coming. If you want that, we can just get an extension for that. Extension search. Let's create some pages here. New file, new folder, um, pages, new file, articles.hbs. This articles.hbs would have, say, each articles as article. Let something like this. To create a section, we'll create an h1 inside the section. Put article.title here. We will put paragraph here, or let's say just put a div here and put article dot content here, and after the header one we'll write something in small element article dot author dot username. We'll write like this, by article dot author dot username. Okay, so that's what each section is going to look like. Make something that's articles.hbs, put it into main.hbs. Okay, so let's see how the pages are going to look like. src roots pages. Inside pages, let's have a new file articles.js. Index.js would have so articles.js, same stuff. Create a root inside articles.js, and index.js we put this app.use slash articles is require dot slash articles. Okay, articles has what? App dot get slash like this. It's going to be very similar to how we have the articles API route. So we have done async and we have fetched all the articles. So we'll do the same thing here. We will do async and const articles equal to await. We need to now do this thing. Require from dot slash models slash db. We'll get article from here. We'll write article dot find all, or I think we should use the controllers here. Controllers slash articles, fetch articles. So let's say await fetch articles here. This gets me all the articles. Then I will do res dot render. What will I render? Pages slash articles with the articles data inside it. Since I'll pass the articles into res.render, it will basically render pages slash articles.hbs, and each article should be rendered like this. Okay, so this is going to be root.get. Sorry, my bad. Okay, let's run this code and see if oh, I think we failed somewhere. Here, this should also be root.use. Let's just try it again. So yeah, it's running. Let's go to localhost 2929 slash articles. Uh, Since we have not done a try catch again, whenever you get an error like this, unhandled, promise rejection, get unhandled promise rejection warning. Uh, this error originated either throwing inside of an async function without a catch block, or by rejecting a promise which was not handled with catch. So we got an error of this type thing. Just you can read the error now. The error originated either inside throwing an async function, something like this. When we get, it means that somewhere we have done await and we have not done a try catch. Where is that happened? So in my pages slash articles.js, we have done const articles equal to await fetch articles. Okay, so we need to try catch this one part out. We'll do this try catch. If there is an error, res dot redirect to slash. Okay, otherwise we do this const articles equal to await fetch articles, res dot render articles with this. Okay, if there's any problem doing this, we will just redirect the user back, something like this. Okay, this is the pages part of it. The pages part, so I'll just push the code till now. Yeah. So what were we saying? Let's just start server again, and if you go to articles page, 2929 slash articles. Something is happening. We are just getting redirected to the root page. This is happening because there is some problem in this catch, I guess. Okay, let's check that out. Let's do is console dot error e. You see a lot of SQL commands are getting logged by default. If you don't want all of this to get logged, what we can do is go to our sequelized file, models dp.js, and when we are defined dp, we can write here logging false. If we do logging false, then these logs will not get generated. Okay, so if I run something like npm start. See, no more logs, but we can always do debug sequelize star npm start, then sorry, debug equal to sequelize star, then all the logs are available here. Okay, so it's better to do logging false, so that when you're running in production you can see your own logs instead of sequelized ones. Okay, so let me just start again, npm start, and let's just go to /articles path. See what error has happened. No default engine was specified, no extension was provided. I think that's because I have missed writing this in my server. App.set view engine is HBS, and I have to set the app.set views is at this path.join then name comma dot slash views. So because I missed these two lines, it was not able to find out where to render the views from, where to find the HBase files from. That is the problem. Let me just start again. I think this time it's supposed to work. So go to /articles. I think we have a problem in our HBase file. Let's check out our HBase file, articles.hbase. Oh yeah, we have two braces, extra braces, and we can just run it again. Yeah, so now you can see articles, the heading, and then by which user that part has also come, and then the contents of that particular article. Okay, you can go to inspect element and see what way it's coming out. Sections for each article. Section has a h1, small user, and div here. Okay, so we're able to print the articles on the screen using this method. Now let's say we want the articles plus its comments also visible somewhere. Okay, so let's let's seed some data with the comments as well. Okay, and then we will create a article path where the comments of the article would also be visible. So first let me just commit this part. Now we need is one controller for we got create article, we got fetch articles. We need now fetch article by ID. We have article ID. Okay, we'll export this fetch article by ID function from here. Fetch article by ID function, what it's gonna do is it's gonna do return await article dot find by ID. Article dot find by ID takes an ID in terms of using this article ID. Correct. But I need to also provide some information like this. It needs to include comments. So I'll just add article user comment. So I include comment. So if you call this function, it's going to find a particular article by the article ID, but it's also going to include all the comments of that article in this same path. Okay. So fetch article by ID. Okay. This is my fetch function done. Let me just add some comments. Okay. In my seed sample data. So this is my user creation script. This is my article creation script. There are 4 articles created. Let me now do this thing. Await models dot comment dot bulk create. So models would have I think this is the data format of the models. It should have a title, message, article ID, and a user ID. So like this. Nice article. Then there's going to be a message. Nice. Thanks. Then it should have a user ID, which is going to be say 1, and a article ID, which is going to be also say 1, like that. Let me just create a lot of user ID 1, article ID 1, user ID 1, article ID 2, user ID 2, article ID 3, user ID 2, article ID 4. Okay. Comments by users and article 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just add one more of this. Okay, and let's get some more good article would be better. Okay, thanks for writing this, stuff like that. Okay. Did not like your article, something like that. Really bad article. Okay, you get some sample data into this thing again, like we have done in other cases. Let's go to libsum, get some stuff up here. Okay. Right. So we have some functions which are going to add comments also to the articles. Okay, 2 for article 1, 1 for article 2, for article 3, I mean 2 for article 3. Okay. Let's just see this data once again. So data has been seeded like this, inserted to comments. So we've inserted a lot of data into comments. Okay. Let's start our DB, and okay, before starting we now need to add this into our API articles. So what will happen when I do root.get slash colon id? First is const article id equal to rect dot params dot id. Okay, and we're gonna do this if not article id or article id if not is nan parseInt rec dot params dot id. Now see how if id does not exist, then this would be undefined. If it's undefined, parseInt would be not a number. Okay, if it is a string, then also parseInt would be not a number. So if I check if is nan this, then we simply are going to do this. Press dot redirect us to slash and console dot error. Okay. Now let's go to actually doing this thing. Fetch articles. Let's do fetch article by ID. If you have too many imports, you can do is write them in separate lines like this. Okay. So we're gonna do try catch part would be similar. Await fetch article by ID article ID const article equal to fetch article by ID article ID, and then press dot render. We're going to render this path pages slash article slash ID with this article. Okay, so catch e throw the error. Okay, now pages article ID needs to be created a HBS file for the following. So we'll go to views. We have got pages. We create a folder called articles. We create a file called ID. Articles id.hbs. Okay. So this would have something like this section similar to what we have in this case, articles. So h1 article dot titles small, and then div article dot content. After the section has ended, we create another section for comments. Say h2 comments, right? And we have got for every comment we will create each block, each comments as comment. For each comment as comment, we are going to create a div block. Okay, and inside each div block we'll put a h2, and the h2 would have comment dot title. There would be a paragraph where there would be comment dot message. Then there would be by small command dot username. How I'm gonna write all of this thing? Very easy. To make sure that when we are in this if okay, so this is the API one. In the API, what we will do is we will try to fetch an article, and then we will do rest dot status 200 dot JSON the article. That's done this way. For the page, now we need to do the same thing for the page. Show it on the page. So in pages, articles, if somebody sends a request to root.get / ID, right? Similar stuff like this. Don't do JSON here. Rest dot render / pages / article / ID with the article in question. Okay. When you are doing fetch article by ID, you also need to keep in mind that we are trying to access data like comment.user.username inside the article. So we'll have to write like this in our fetch function that yeah, when we do this fetch article by ID, article.find by ID article include so in include we will have to write another object. Model is comment. Each comment should have the user also inside that, so a nested include, and this has user. I need only the username, so again a nested object with include would contain this. Yeah. Model comment, then again model user, attributes only username. Okay, so we are trying to find articles. Inside every article we are including the comments, and inside every comment we are including the user only with the username attribute. Okay, so let's see how that goes when we fetch all the fetch an article by ID at the controller layer here. Then we use it inside our API, and we use it inside our pages as well. Okay. So to be able to get to those pages, we will have to create some links also. So article.hps will create a link. Okay. After this div, we will write here another div. Okay, which would be like dot read or read more. Make it a. href equal to slash article slash article.id. Okay, so there's be a read more link inside every article. Clicking on that takes me to article slash article.id link. For all of these, let's just again start it once again. Let's go to articles. Everything has a read more link. I click on read more. Pages slash articles slash id. Pages slash articles slash id. I think so. Good. Some problem. Pages articles id. There's some problem here. There shouldn't be this slash here. It should be just pages articles id. Just start it again and see. Click on read more. The article, the comments, article comments. The comments are not showing up apparently. Okay, why are they not showing up? We'll just check why the comments are not showing up in the id page. We created each comments as comment. It should be each article dot comments as comment. Yeah, so we have comments, nice article, good article. We got all the comments are coming in. Maybe you can make this text a little smaller, H3 possibly. Yeah, by second user. There we go. So any article we open, you can see the article and you can see the comments under that article like this. Is the audio better now? Okay. Um, so those who have like just followed it till then, can you just just comment on the chat box if anything, especially you want me to cover further any particular part of the project that unable to understand till now. I'll just comment till now once again. Let's just see that whether the API is working or not also for the same thing. Go to slash API slash article slash 4, same thing. We get the article, we get this thing, the comments for that, the author ID, the comments, comment ID, title, message, the user ID of the comment, and the username, second user. So I think all of that stuff is pretty much working pretty good. Article slash 2, getting that, articles, all the articles, we're getting the article and the comments along with that. Okay, so now let's say we want to add functionality for things like sign up and login kind of things. That's also possible. We'll have to create authorization layer for that. We'll use Passport to be able to do that. Um, for that, let's say we install npm install Passport and Passport local. These two packages, they are going to help us with login stuff. Okay. Um, so let's create a folder called auth. Inside auth, let's create a new file called passport.js. Let's create a new folder called strategies and create a new folder called passport local. Passport local strategy.js. Okay. Let's see how all of this works out. We're going to do const local strategy equal to require passport local dot strategy. Okay. Then we're gonna do const local strategy equal to or const strategy equal to new local strategy. So new local strategy takes a verify function. Okay. The verify function is going to be of this format: username, password, and done. Okay. We can make this async if we want to. There is no problem with that. Let's fetch the user object const user equal to require models models db. Okay, so first thing we do is try to find out user with that username. Const user equal to await user dot find one where username basically like this. So find one where the username matches this username. Okay. If not user, you're gonna call return done with an error. No such username. If user dot password not equal to password, return done new error. Mismatch. Okay, if neither of the two has happened, if this was fine, so we should also do is put this in try catch also. Put this entire thing make try catch e. If you get an error, return done with this error. Okay, and here if you have gotten the correct user at this stage, return done, no error, null error, and the user object. Okay. So since authentication strategy level, we should remove this thing. We should do user dot password equal to undefined. This way, the password is not transferred above the authorization layer. Only at the authorization layer do we have the access to the password. So this is my local strategy like this. Um, okay. Then let's go to passport.js. Const passport equal to require passport, of course, right? And we also need something of this type. Const user equal to require dot slash model slash db. Passport dot serialize user. So that will have user comma done. It does done null comma user dot id. Okay. Passport dot deserialize user would have async user id comma done. Would be a try catch here. Catch if there is a error. Okay. Try what we'll do. Const user equal to await user dot find by id user id user dot password equal to undefined, and then we do done return done null comma user. Okay, so serialized user converts a user to user id. Deserialized user converts a user id back into a user. To convert a user id to a user, we need to be able to access the user object and basically find the user by user ID, get the user object like this. So serialized user, deserialized user, okay, and then passport dot use local strategy. So we'll use local strategy require dot slash strategy slash passport local strategy. Model dot exports equal to passport. Here you have to export the strategy also. Model dot exports equal to strategy. Okay. In my main file, we need Express session to be able to maintain the logins. So we will just install Express session here. Sessions maintain cookies. Cookies are used to maintain passport sessions. Without Express session, you cannot use passport session. Let's see how that works. See what we're going to do. We go to server.js and we will require session const session session equal to require express session. Before anything else, the first thing that we do here is app.use session options. You should have a secret. Secret is some super secret string. This is the actually Neil is right. I should not have installed express session as a dev dependency. It's a proper normal dependency. So I'll just do npm install save express session. It should be in my novel dependencies, not as because we need it to run the project. We don't need it only for development purpose. We need it there as well. Okay. So we've done that. Okay. Then secret is needed. Resave false. I think the things that are needed is options, session options. Secret is needed, and that's it. I think secret is the only thing that's needed. Other things not so much. Just to do secret. Okay. Then we will do app dot will get access to passport. Const passport equal to require, and now I'm not going to do require passport. I'm going to do require dot slash auth slash passport, my passport library, not the main passport module one. Okay, we're going to do app dot use passport dot initialize, and then app dot use passport dot session. Okay. So sounds pretty good at this stage. Basic passport configuration. Let me just commit that. Git add. Okay, what else do we need to do is that we need to create the pages for sign up and login. Okay, so when you're signing up, you need to give a username and think what all things are there. Models, user has username and password. That's it. Okay, so sign up with username and password. Sign in with username and password again. Let's create pages for that. Views pages. So create a folder called auth, and inside that we'll create a new file called signup.hbs, and login.hbs. Here's where partials can help you a bit. See, I'm going to use a partial. I'm going to use a partial, and I'm going to create a new file called authform.hbs. Okay. See, pages. Authform. Authform has input, type, text, name, username, placeholder, username, input, type, password, name, password, placeholder, password. Okay, awesome stuff. Authform.hbs. Login.hbs has got form, method, post, action, slash auth slash login, and here auth form. Okay, take this, copy into signup.hbs. Method post action or slash sign up. Okay, here give it some title, h1 sign up, create a new user account, login, start h1 login, login using existing credentials. Okay, so we have login.hvs and signup.hvs form like this. Both of them use this caret auth form notation. See what we're going to do. First of all, in our src routes pages, we're going to create a new file called auth.js, and we're going to create this thing here. Mm, auth.js would have, of course, const root equal to require express dot router, module dot exports equal to root, of course, right? What else we do have? Root dot get slash login, regress, res dot render pages auth login. Sign up, res dot render pages auth sign up. Okay. I think that's it. Index, let's see, root dot use slash auth require dot slash auth, right? In my main view, the layout main.hps, let me add some stuff of the body. Let me add nav, right? And let me add a href slash auth slash login, sign up. Okay, and maybe like articles, great. Let's see how that looks like. Let me just start this server. I think we have an error somewhere. Cannot record method of undefined. Which file? Routers page index.js require auth root dot use require auth. I don't need to call the function. I think something wrong there. Just start it again. Okay, resave and save initialize must be provided. So let me just provide that stuff, right? Just provide that stuff. Server.js. So yeah, let me start again. There we go. Slash articles. So you have articles login sign up top links here because it's part of my main.hvs. Anything that I write in main.hvs is available in every page. I go to login. Login page has, I think, a problem. I think it's supposed to be 3 slashes. Login.hvs. Just see. Let me just see how the partials work. Let me just take a look from my own code. I think I have used it in one auth. Some partials might have been used. Let me check how the partials are used. Um, Views. Do I have partials? I have a footer.hps. Let me see where the footer is used. Main.hps. Layout. Main.hps. Footer. Oh, sorry. I just used the wrong arrow. My mistake. It's supposed to be like this. Start again. Let's go to articles. Login page. See here the login page, username, password. Go to sign up page. Signup.hps needs similar thing. Pages or sign up or start. There we go. So see sign up and login page. This part of the text is changing. The login using credentials. This part of the text is changing. This part is not changing because it's the same thing we need. We can add also in the partial, something like auth form, input type, submit, and input type reset. Just add a BR here. See, it's available in both places, login, sign up, right? So if I sign up here, it's gonna sign me up. If I go to login, it's gonna log me in. So you see what's the help of using partials in your project if you wish to. It's a pretty useful utility if you use partials in your project. Okay. Now, what's the sign up form going to do? In the pages auth, here in my root pages auth.js, if somebody does root.post to sign up, rec less. Okay. Now I need controller again. Controller uses const user equal to require from the model again, require dot slash model slash db, async function create user, username, password, try, return await user dot create username, password, catch e. I think the error, if we do get an error, dot create user done. Model dot exports equal to, I'm gonna export the create user function right here, okay, so that we can use it somewhere else. Create user. I need to import this function in my auth.js file. It's controller, right? So const braces, and I just write equal to require dot slash controllers page, write the user's controller, right? And I will get create user as one of the functions here. So what I will do is await const user equal to await create user, where we have rec dot body dot username and rec dot body dot password is going to create the user, and then I'm going to just redirect the user back to the login page. I will do rest dot redirect to slash auth slash login, so the user can log himself in, and that's basically I'll just put this into try catch as well. Just try this thing out catch on error, throw the error. Create the user, redirect the user back to login page, right? And if I happen to have root.post slash login, what will I do if I go to root.post slash login? In that case, I'm gonna authenticate the user as you know, something like this. Let me just require passport here. Const passport equal to require I will require my passport again, not the module one, the mine one which I have created here inside auth slash passport. Look, passport dot authenticate using local. Okay, and if the authentication has been correctly done, in that case authentication options would be here. I will need a failure redirect to slash success redirect also to slash articles. Okay, if login is successful. So let's see if login we are able to log in and sign up and stuff or not. Let's start. Let's go to sign up, create a user. Let's say username is Arnav, password is also Arnav, submit query. I'm safe, so I've logged in apparently. Let me put my username Arnav and password Arnav, submit query, I am out. So there's a password mismatch somewhere. There's a password mismatch. Okay, where is the password mismatch? We need to find out. Let me just go to the database and check what was saved. Refresh, see users data. So Arnav password was null. I think password wasn't passed correctly. I put a S here, my mistake. Sorry, I need to remove the S from here. Let's just run the seed data again. Let's start again. Okay, yo, let's go sign up. Arnav, submit query. I think I've created my user Arnav, and Arnav as password. Submit query. Oh, still a password mismatch. Form, I need to check the form. Fuse pages, partial source form, password. Password is fine. There is still some password mismatch. Let me just try to run this query again. Oh, I just typoed with the password. Let me just change the password here. So maybe just try logging in again. So I'm able to log in, and if I want to show some user is logged in kind of thing at the top of the page or something like that, that's also possible. Let's say we do this. So how to show user information? I think I'll just check my old file once again. So you see, how do we get things like the title of the page, for example? Okay, or how do I get the user data, for example? Okay, these things are possible via this src link server.js. Let's see. So what I do is I have this middleware for all the pages which does res.locals. So if we set something as res.locals, it's available in HBS directly. Okay. So I'll show you how this thing works. In my pages index.js, I write this root.use, right? And it's going to have rec and res and next. And if rec.user exists, in that case res.locals.username equal to rec.user.username. Okay, and then I call next. Okay, now what I'll do here is in my main file, in my main HPS file, I'll go to views, main.hps, and at the top of the page after the navigation is there, I'm gonna see if there is a username. In that case we will create something like this here. Let's say just show it in bold. Hello username. Okay, right, this at the top of the page. Now what happens with that is, let's just start it once again. So I go to this page articles, and you see nothing like hello username is shown here. Now I do login and I write Arnav submit query. You see hello Arnav written here. Okay, and if I try to log in with some other user now, say I think password is first user and first pass. So I do first user and first pass submit query. So now it shows hello first user. Now refresh the page, it will continue to show first user like this here. Okay. So there are a lot of issues still remaining with this project. I think things that still need to be done on this project are, I think I'll just list that down. Um, so I think we need to do is hash the passwords. Do not save as string. To use an access control layer to control who can create, edit articles and comments. So security wise, I think application wise we still have I think create, edit, delete articles and comments, which which we still need to add to this project. Okay. Of course, UI level, we have to implement a CSS framework like uh, Bootstrap here. Okay. So the stuff is to dos. So I think I have a very nice proposition for all of you. I'm gonna end this webinar right now because it's getting 11 and I need to go home. I'm getting late. We will continue this webinar and finish the other things that were left in the next webinar, or I can just finish this and push it as GitHub commits. What I would really love is to have you guys try and finish these tasks. Implement a CSS framework, make your website look good, add functionality of creating, editing, and deleting articles and comments, and use okay, has the passwords, do not save the strings, and use access control layer to control, so that if I have created an article, only I can edit it, others cannot edit it, stuff like that. So see if you try and add these functionalities to the project. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave this project at this. Try and see if you can implement up to here and add these functionalities and create an entire blogging system. Okay, so just commit the readme as well. Okay. So those who were attending till the end, thank you for attending the webinar, and those who might be looking at the webinar later on, please try and finish these to-dos and send pull requests. I think I am expecting like Neil probably would be sending me a pull request. He did it in the last webinar, and uh, one thing is a lot of you guys demanded for the webinar on the WhatsApp channels, but if you're not interested in turning up for the webinars, I would not feel much motivated to create further webinars. I would just simply push some code on GitHub. That work better that way. Anyway, let's see if some of you guys can complete this project, take this forward, send some pull requests on GitHub, and I would love to review those pull requests. Tell you if there is some edits or anything that is needed in those. Okay, so okay, thank you for attending, and good night, guys.